Dear Josh, I'm writing you this as a friend. Missing the bond we had back then. Balldo rapping in my head. A parody of Stan, pouring my heart out like a fan. Remember the laughs, the talks we shared. How I wish you were still there. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Till we meet again. I hope you make 1,000,000 super chats. And I won't try and obscure all the facts. I just want you to know, as my friend, that I will wear the Balldo for you. Until the bitter end. Peace. Your appointment of FEMA should be finalized within the week. I've already discussed the matter with the senator.
I take it he was agreeable?
He didn't really have a choice.
Has he been infected?
Oh yes, most certainly. When I mentioned that we could put him on the priority list for the ambrosia vaccine, he was so willing it was almost pathetic.
This plague, the rioting is intensifying to the point where we may not be able to contain it.
Why contain it? Let it spill over into the schools and churches. Let the bodies pile up in the streets. In the end, they'll beg us to save them.
I've received reports of armed attacks on shipments. There's not enough vaccine to go around, and the underclasses are starting to get desperate.
Of course they're desperate. They can smell their death, and the sound they'll make rattling their cage will serve as a warning to the rest.
I hope you're not underestimating the problem. The others may not go as quietly as you think. Intelligence indicates they're behind the problems in Paris.
A bunch of pretentious old men playing at running the world. That the world left them behind long ago. We are the future.
We have other problems.
On that go?
Formed by executive order after the terrorist strike on the statue. I have someone in place, though. I'm more concerned about Savage. He's relocated to Vandenberg.
Our biochem corpus is far in advance of theirs, as is our electronic sentience. And their ethical inflexibility has allowed us to make progress in areas they refuse to consider.
The augmentation project?
Yes, among other things. But I must admit that I've been somewhat disappointed in the performance of the primary unit.
The secondary unit should be online soon. It's currently undergoing preparation and will be operational within 6 months. My people will continue to report on its progress. If necessary, the primary will be terminated.
We've had to endure much, you and I, but soon there will be order again, a new age. Aquinas spoke of the mythical city on the hill. Soon that city will be a reality, and we will be crowned its kings.
Or better than kings, gods.
Better than kings! Gods. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Midnight Show. It is August 26th, 2024, and it's omnibussing time. Yeah, we're a little late, but I had some stuff come up, and I just couldn't let this one pass. It's time to take a look at the omnibus hearing. So, good evening, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. And you're right, the Ralph deepfake with the perfect teeth and perfect eye in the eyes, just the stuff of nightmares. The stuff of nightmares. So, I'm sure most of you are already caught up with all of this. A lot of people have been covering the omnibus hearing, and, you know, you had Megamind dressed up like a Pretty Woman. You had Ralph looking for a fight. It was just a hollering good time. Pardon the pun. So we'll take a look at some of the stuff that's been going on. But first and foremost, we've got to take a look at this video. So just outside the omnibus hearing, somebody ran into everybody's favorite cartoon character brought to life, Ethan Ralph. So this person, maybe I should just let it play and let it speak for itself.
There's the song of this.
Now you'll have to pardon the weird static. I had the music removed because the Rage Pig was blasting some sort of music, and I removed it. So, you know, technology isn't 100%, but, you know, it is what it is. And Radio Ruin with $5. Nick Rekieta told me witness intimidation wasn't against the law. Nick Rekieta told me Witness protection wasn't against the law. Did you guys see Ralph bragging about intimidating Aaron Imholt on Twitter? Like, this dude is very genius. I haven't seen moves like this in quite some time. So thank you, Radio Ruin, for the $5. And yeah, I'm just gonna let this clip play.
What's up, man?
Hey, aren't you Ralph, dude?
I'm not Ralph.
I was just watching Steel Toe, man, on the way dropping my son off. You should go box that dude, man.
My name's not even Ralph, no.
Oh, it's not?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought you were eating Ralph. Holy shit, man, this is gonna be.
No, I hate to stop the clip there, but did you guys catch that? Is your name Ralph? No, my name is not Ethan Ralph. You gotta love it.
Right? I don't smell like this, though.
Holy smokes, bro.
Is that what you think?
Yeah, you should go boxing, dude.
I should go box Aaron?
Yeah, dude.
Okay. I don't know who that is, but thank you.
Steel Toe show?
No, I don't know who that is.
He's not. The young lad is not convinced. He knew in his heart of hearts that that was Ethan Ralph. So well done, Mr. Ralph, for once again convincing the public that you are in fact not Ethan Ralph. So I got a good laugh out of that. And then we had, I guess this is more recent. This is just from about 4 hours ago. The Steel Toe Morning Show. Now, the thing is, I'm sure a lot of people are already up to speed with a lot of this. But to those who are not familiar, Aaron Imholt, this fellow here, hosts the Steel Toe Morning Show. And he's the guy that was fucking Nick Rekieta's wife. Now, he has since unloaded a ton of juicy details regarding their 4-person relationship. And I find it's the weirdest thing to me is how this man Aaron is continuously getting updates on his ex-wife. Hey, did you see your ex-wife hanging out with Balldo? Like, the absolute horror. The internet, hey, did you see what your ex-wife's up to? Man, I'd rather not. If I was in his position, I would rather not hear about it. But this is the internet, after all. So what we got? 7 minutes here. Okay, let's speed it up. I have not watched this yet, but this is a little segment about Nick and April's date and April's dress. I wonder what kind of enlightenment we're going to get from Mr. Aaron Imholt. I guess we'll find out.
Did you see them at that cheesy Hollywood H, says J-Rock. Look, I'm going to leave that up to the Kiwi Farms people, but once again, like the Summer's Eve thing, they were mean. Some of the stuff, I have to say, like some of the shit they say about April actually does, like once in a while it will bother me in a weird way because I'll be like, that's really mean. And like, I did marry her. Like I was with her and happy and we were in love at some point. Like I understand she's not that person anymore. The person I met would think that an art gallery thing was the gayest thing in the world. That is something that I had to laugh at when I saw her at that. I go, you really are just whoever someone tells you to be. I was like, do you know how much you and I would have made fun of this
you see
when
what
we
I
first
mean?
met and we got married?
These are juicy details that maybe a person shouldn't be blasting out on their show. Like, oh yeah, you really are. And these, we don't need to hear this about you, motherfucker.
Just listening.
Okay. Hey, babe. Like, if I was in his position, the last thing I would want is people to feed me details about my ex-wife. Right, babe? Like, that seems a bit strange, yeah? I don't know. But, yeah, let's go ahead and let this keep going.
Like, do you have any idea, like, how gay we're like, oh, the Hollywood H. Like, we would have just made fun of that endlessly. She's like, no, this is amazing. It's like, come on. Come on. You want to wear camo and put deer piss on your boots. Don't sit here and go, I want to go to I'm an art gal. You're not. You never have been. Another win for the Toes is TJ Blackmore.
Like,
No, so some of
didn't
that
this
shit they
guy
say on the
Billy
forums-
Goat some bitches? Like, I didn't really look into it, but as far as I understand it, didn't he, like, Billy Goat some bitches? I'll leave it at that.
Like, dude, that mean, like, even though I'm like, you know, I'm like, thank God she's there and I'm here. Like, I don't want to be anywhere near the shit she's involved in. But, like, there's still, like, when people just endlessly shit on her and, like by the 19th time they say she looks like a prostitute, I go, okay, God, like, there is still that part of me that's like, okay, that used to be my wife, dude. Take it easy, you know?
I was watching a clip of Red Bar Radio before turning the stream on, and Mike from Red Bar calls her a fat, disgusting fucking pig. Like, and she's not fat at all. Like, it's funny. He just goes for the throat. It's pretty brutal. And his nickname for her is Megamind because she has in certain camera angles, she has a massive fucking forehead. Like, you'll see what I mean. But Red Bar Mike is ruthless, dude. This dude doesn't fuck around when it comes to the Imholtz. Let's see here. I'll let this go.
I'm gonna let you think about that. Jules is
Skip a little.
KSI from Prime, from the UK. Don't say anything. Okay, let's break this down because I'll show you. I'll show you what the pimping, what this is, how this is a scheme. Listen,
Chrissy picked me out I almost said dopest bra.
The dopest.
It's pretty fucking cool and it's hot. And
it was cool. Chrissy picked out a bra for me. Okay, so
Why
paint
would
the
she say
picture.
it's hot.
Paint the picture. You're at the revolting Mall of America. Have you ever been there? I've been there. I went there with web developer Cameron C. He lives in Minnesota.
hot.
Yeah, I mean, 100% agree. How often he uses that fucking soundboard. It's egregious. Like, tasteful use of the soundboard, please, from the perspective of an audience member. All right, so we had Ralph hollering outside the hearing. That was pretty good. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to point out. So, if you Google Nick Rekieta, if you just type Nick Rekieta into Google, you get a t-shirt with his mugshot on it. First thing that pops up. First thing that fucking pops up. And you have to wonder, should you really be so concerned with arguing with random people on Twitter? This dude got fucking dunked on by Cog. Hold on. First of all, we got to start with this classic pinned tweet. There would have been a sound effect there if I was fucking Red Bar. Happy New Year's Eve, everyone. 2024 promises to be a beautiful disaster. Don't make resolutions, set goals. Pursue life. Be ridiculous. Find joy. Life is current. Ride with it. Or swim your own way. Just choose consciously. I'll be seeing you all there. Peace. Peace. Peace indeed. Now, if only this fucking guy knew just how much of a beautiful disaster 2024 would be. Let's see. Dick Masterson with the epic Cops and Fat Women. Cops and Fat Women. What's a bigger threat for democracy? Hate speech or women being fat? It's really witty. Oh yeah, so Ralph also went to a strip club. And most people don't exactly know what happened, but it appears as though he might have gotten thrown the fuck out because he had a tweet that was unintelligible. No one could tell what the fuck he was saying. Hold on here. Ah, yes. Shocker. I for one, am blown the fuck away. All right. But yes, Rekieta getting dunked on by Cog. That was something that happened. Let's see if we can find that here. So as you can see, Balldo has spent a lot of time with his family. Oh God, so I was wondering when we were going to get around to talking about why the cop lied. Oh boy. Why the cop lied, or how the cop lied. Because the stream, this is what Nick Rekieta is alleging. He's saying that the stream cannot be entered in as evidence because it's Cog's re-upload of his stream, which it hasn't been changed in any way. YouTube added its annotation watermark, but it's something that you can just turn off. In fact, I don't think I have it enabled. Let's see. We'll bring up his mirror here. Be just a second, chat. Oh man, you gotta love the internet. How about if I just type in Rekieta? Okay, so it's this one right here. It's 4 hours, 4 minutes long, and 4 seconds. Now, I'm sure we got time codes. Do we have time codes? Here we go.
What's up, guys? How's it going? So much urine. So much urine. That's what you have to learn. When you're old, you don't pee more. When you drink whiskey, you pee a shitload. That's all. That's all. Jim, I don't know if you know this, but there's a guy who made shirts.
I saw this live, and I'm pretty sure several other people saw this live. There, as far as I know, like, Cog's version of this stream has had no changes from the one that Nick Rekieta had streamed to his channel. It was a direct re-upload. I can't swear to God that that's the case, right? But as far as I'm aware, it's just a re-upload. And I saw this shit live. And I saw the white powder on his nose live. And there's also chat, I believe, at some point. Okay, maybe not. I thought he had chat on screen. But I remembered the discussion in chat going, man, this motherfucker's fucked up on drugs. It's a cry. Imagine watching a Cog stream. Rip. But even imagine getting blown the fuck out on Twitter by Cog. Alright. God damn, he's so fucked up. Okay, from here, I have not seen these clips until recently. Well, I mean, I started to watch them, and I immediately went, no. Let's save these for a stream. So, yeah, let's just let these play, and I'll give you my thoughts.
I caught a skunk in a live trap. That was the worst.
How did you get rid of it? Did it try to spray? I would imagine that would happen.
It tried to. So here's what I had to do. The worst part about this. So I was trying to catch a stray cat. That was fighting with one of my other cats. My goal was to catch this cat because it was a monster. It was a big beefy cat, and I thought if I can catch this cat and keep it around my cats and get it domesticated, I wouldn't mind having it around because it'll kill raccoons. Sure. And so I was gonna catch this cat in a live trap. Well, I shine my flashlight on the live trap, and it's a skunk. And the bad part is I had to drive to Texas from Minnesota that day.
Jeez.
So I walked up very carefully and I clipped a leash, like one of those yard wire leashes to this thing. So it's like 15, 20 feet long. Mm-hmm. And then I dragged the skunk across the yard to a pond and slowly walked kind of back and forth. And the cage kind of went into the pond and I had to drown the skunk.
Yeah, I kind of do that to people in Red Dead Redemption too. I think I understand exactly. I got the mental image. It's weird how there's a parallel there.
Yeah, and so I drag it in, and I felt really bad because like the pond was flooded, so it wasn't deep. It was way out past the border of the pond normally. It wasn't deep, so like I could still see the top of the cage and a little skunk paw doing this, and then it stops. And so I'm like, oh, okay. So I pull the cage out, and I'm about to get the skunk out of it and throw the corpse off in the woods so it doesn't stink up the whole yard. And it comes back. It like starts breathing again. So I take the cage and I throw it back in the water, and I left it there for like, 30 minutes. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but if you shoot a skunk, it will spray like crazy, way worse than anything you've ever seen. So there's nothing you can do with it.
Jeez.
Drowning was the most humane way to take care of it. Otherwise, you have to starve them. It's terrible. So,
yeah, you can't have them spraying. That shit is just the worst.
Yeah. So, so the skunk made basically skunk tea out of my pond, and then right before we left, I pulled it out. It had been gone for a while then, and got rid of the body. But that was just a shame. That was a shame. But I knew I couldn't shoot it because I did have a skunk go in one of our window wells the prior year, and I shot that thing, and it sprayed, and the room that was attached to that window was not usable for something like 6 months.
Wow.
Because it was so brutal. So drown your skunks, y'all. It's the only way to do it. Next. Also live in the country. It's fun how many things you have to kill.
I love the chat even he had. Just let it live. There's an idea. All right. And this one's a minute 54.
Right. Have you ever killed animals in close quarters combat?
No, can't say that I have.
I have because I live out in the country and I made a very dumb choice. That we had raccoons eating our cat food. We had outdoor cats, and I was going through like 16-pound bags of cat food in like 3 days. Because these big raccoons would come in and they just, I didn't want to go out in the winter, especially. You don't want to go outside every day and drop a scoop of cat food. So you just get one of those big automatic feeder things. Right. And so I'm filling up this thing, and I trapped 2 of the raccoons in the shed. And I had this bright idea that I'd go in there and just kill the animals up close. And so I go and I lock myself in a shed, and I have a light, and I have a hammer and a knife. Because this is before I owned a gun. And then I just realized that I had locked myself in a shed with freaking raccoons. And this is how I analogize what's going to happen is I was never in more danger from those raccoons than I was when I was right about to kill them. Because they were cornered, they were terrified, and I had to get very close. And that's what's going on with all of the media. That's what's going on with the social justice stuff is as we get closer and closer to overturning it, as the pendulum starts to get to the end, that'll be their maximum amount of power. And it'll be really terrifying for people in the short term.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's Yeah. You guys live out in the country. You find all sorts of ways to kill animals that are threatening your family and your livestock.
Right outside of city.
So, for no reason at all, just share those two clips with you. All right. So what do we do from here, chat? That's a good question. Well, I also wanted to show this to you as well. So, yes, if you Google Nick Rekieta, you get a t-shirt with his mugshot on it. And tons of links to all of the articles about his case. But also, if you type in April Imholt, you get tons of pictures of Nick Rekieta as well. Hell, you get more appearances of Nick Rekieta than you do of Erin Imholt, her ex-husband. I do remember Hard Bastard. I never watched any of his content, but I do remember him existing. Like, I remember the name. All right. I think this is Balldo's Paradise. We had another interesting matter of public record. And that's a whole nother cup of tea. Now, I do like that the judge, I think twice, at 2 times in the in this hearing, Rekieta tried to talk, and the judge just told him to shut up, basically. Like, no, I'm talking right now. I do find that quite funny. Huh. Oh, that's right. That could have worked. Whatever happened to Tonka? Is it I believe... I was about to say it was a different judge than the one that originally was on board, but I think you already knew that. So yeah, we'll go ahead and jump back to this video here. I think we're at 1.5 speed. Yeah. Okay. About their recent date.
Starts to reflect on me after like the 15th one. She looks like a completely dead-eyed coke whore. She looks 10 years older than she is. I'm like, hey, that's enough. I got it. I laughed at the first 7. The 8th one, Ape is doing whatever it takes to keep that bag and not have to work again. So my lawyer was telling me, he's like, these women, he goes, some of them just don't want to work so bad that they'll debase themselves to any level. Like, they'll just completely make themselves husks of humans just so they don't have to work. And I'm like, that is a dead existence. That's too bad. I mostly meant Nick's cope smile and her shitty dress. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Like, everybody was calling her a whore in a shitty prom dress and stuff. And I'm like, Jesus, guys. And they were wondering where that dress came from. I did buy her 2 dresses from Valiant in Las Vegas. I don't know if that was one of them. I guess, you know what? We took pictures of everything she tried on there. And my pictures are backed up somewhere. I don't know where. Not there. It's here somewhere. But, yeah, I don't remember where. So this would be December, I believe. Yeah, December would be. I'll see if I'll settle this once and for all, because Kiwi Farms wants to know if I bought her that dress, and to be honest, I do not know. Here we go, December. Aw, we'll see. Oh shit! Look at those. Okay, here we go. Now we've got the Las Vegas pictures. Did I get her that dress? I got her this one. That's not the one. God, she looked a lot healthier then. Got her that one. That one. Yep. Okay, guys, I did buy that dress. God, she was a different person. It is amazing what coke and booze does to a person. She looks so good in this picture from December 5th. Jesus.
All right, yeah, that's about as much as I can take, I think. But what's new? I believe they've been granted a continuance so they can look at the evidence more thoroughly, because Rackets, our Balldo superhero, alleges that Cog's re-upload of the stream is materially different than his original version. And as you can see, he's clearly not fucked up at all. It isn't just artificing and what would you call it? Like a bad quality translation from his original version. Clearly, that's the only thing that makes it appear as though he's on drugs.
Calculus students and faggots or whatever. His pockets on the front of their shirts. But had Medicare shirts that he made from the Knoxville Knockout back when Chef Red Pill was still alive. Coach, he wasn't his chef. Coach Red Pill. Chef Red Pill would be cooler. Coach was alive. Ralph and Dick and Coach were all friends. I was there. Andy Worski was still doing cocaine. And we're like, this is funny. And Tonka still couldn't walk. Just like was in 4th grade or whatever.
See what I mean? Like, he's clearly sober, and we're a bunch of Scandinavian prudes. He does. Like, look at this fucking guy. Shame on Aaron for making Cog relevant to this. Yeah, Chef Red Pill shout out. Good to see you still getting love from beyond the grave. Yeah, like the Knoxville photo is going to be like our generation's I was gonna say Sistine Chapel, but Operation Mayhem indeed going to plan. Okay. So I have to say, Ralph getting pressed outside of the hearing and just denying his own identity while he's streaming. Pretty amusing shit. And also, Ralph had no-showed a boxing or a friendly sparring event. He couldn't handle the pressure. Oh, it's 35 minutes. Yeah, I don't know about that. The Knoxville Gunt photo is the sector's Abbey Road cover. Yeah, I think that's fairly accurate. Yeah, that's totally it. He didn't want to be served with another lawsuit, so he's like, no, oh no, I'm not Ethan Ralph. Funny stuff. Funny stuff. I apologize if the banging is still is happening. I get a little too animated sometimes moving around in my chair. And then just we have Juju and Balldo arguing with people all over Twitter as if any of that bullshit matters. Yeah, I mean, it's obvious that he's Ralph. Speaking of which, alright, I think this is a good direction to go in. So What was their relationship like?
I was going to do my own ambush at Blaze Studios, if you know what I mean. Started thinking it over. It was like, nah, I'll just go up there. Talked with a couple people. It looked like I was gonna get let in, but then I was told last minute that they weren't gonna let me in.
Here we go.
Okay,
Maybe,
let's do it.
Maybe
Jorge.
Jorge.
My neighbor has a pet hog, and it hollers really loud. Is that legal?
So the reason I play this is back when people still tolerated his fucking bullshit. Nick Rekieta wasn't above ripping on Ralph or any of that, but now he might as well be Ralph. That's the only what is besides Ralph, who the fuck is cheering for him, right? Like that new let's see if I can find it. Hold the fuck on a second. Or I can just send it to myself. That'd probably be the best way to go about it. Pardon me while I stall for time. Oh, I already did. All right, now what we have here, this might as well be another Knoxville picture. Now, Ralph looks like he's photoshopped into this picture. And as you can see, he actually, you might not be able to tell, he is standing about 1.5 feet closer to the camera than everybody else as an optical illusion to appear taller. People were reporting that he smelled like shit, people who were there. Also that he had a massive bald spot, which, you know, if you're old, you're getting old, who gives a shit? But Ralph, of course, went to Twitter to holler and how, scream about how he's not really bald. He's got some hair on top of his head. As if he doesn't understand the concept of going bald. So that was worth a laugh or two. But here we have it. Nick looks like he's about to fucking cry. He's got, I don't know what you would call them, wounds from picking his feet. Megamind has this atrocious tattoo. And then you got our wife, who has Ralph with his arm around her. Let that sink in, chat. Let that sink in for a second. I mean, I don't know what's harder to look at, that picture or the picture of the shower in the spare bed or in the spare house. All right, I read through most of this and there's nothing particularly interesting. You know she got gunted. I mean, isn't that sort of Rekieta's thing? Okay, so we had these two clips. I forget what this one is, so we're just gonna have to watch it.
Marquis Dena says, did you find out who reported you to CPS? Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100%. That's the amazing thing. That's the amazing thing. Is that, eventually, I think people who thought that they were, like, anonymous or whatever, like, you're not anonymous forever, generally speaking, in these things. Like, because like, they do have to tell me stuff, right? So, yeah. I can't do anything about it. Like, a thing happened. But yeah, I know who did it. Sucks. It really sucks because it was lies. And they knew it was lies. And that really fucking hurts. Oh, and yeah, I can prove it. So, yeah. But it's cool. It's fine.
A little bit of a somber tone there. Was it lies, though? Like, at a certain point, how many people have to be lying? What's more likely, that one person's lying or that everybody else is in a massive conspiracy? Yeah, I feel bad for his kids, too. Like, they didn't ask for this shit. God knows what they're gonna have to fucking deal with after all this bullshit. Alright. And from here. I had a few random articles. Nothing too crazy. Let's see this one. Missouri parents charged after infant only fed goat milk, sausages, and Mountain Dew. This is in Douglas County. 2 women and 1 man were arrested Wednesday in rural southwest Missouri on child endangerment charges following a tip to the state's child abuse and neglect hotline. According to the Douglas County Sheriff's Office, the arrests were made in Oldfield, located approximately 25 miles southeast of Springfield. A sheriff's office spokesman said a deputy and members of the children's division went to the residence early Wednesday, where they located about 80 well-maintained mature marijuana plants. However, the deputy did not find anyone at the home. An hour later, the sheriff and that same deputy went back to the home and saw that the marijuana plants had been cut down and placed in a pile. The sheriff knocked on the door and spoke with Jamie J. White. The sheriff's office said White, 44, told the sheriff that Ashley M. Dean, 21, and Nicholas W. Womble, 25, ran into the woods with an 8-week-old infant after the deputy and children's division workers first left. White also admitted to cutting down the marijuana plants in the interim. Let's see. In addition, the sheriff's office said the parents were feeding the infant goat milk replacement, mashed up Vienna sausages, and Mountain Dew Code Red. So you have a little bit of competition out there, Nick. Just a little bit. You think Nick Rekieta will blame his kids and say he started YouTube because of them and it's really their fault all this happened? Yes. I'm expecting something of that variety. Already it was in these documents here where they said that the children should be able to go home because the kids have been manning up and making sure that their parents stay sober. However the fuck that should be their responsibility. Can you imagine getting roasted for your dad being Nick Rekieta? Like at school and shit. Well, recently we've been following the Rekieta case as there have been developments, and it's been a wild ride, man. Are they gonna make sure the 9-year-old stays sober too? Yeah, there has been so much that we're expected by Mr. Rekieta to go, okay, so the cops lied, everybody lied, the test was bullshit. Like, how many people and how many people have to be lying, and how many tests have to have gone been a false positive? Or is it more likely that you're just a narcissistic psychopath? Which is more likely, I wonder? Go back to the articles here. Figure these might help lighten the mood, get a couple chuckles out of everybody. U.S. man seeks $2 million from Lenovo after being fired for peeing in hotel lobby. A Lenovo computer salesman has found himself in a swirl of trouble, fired from his job after he says a bladder condition forced him to relieve himself in a lobby of his Times Square hotel. Mr. Richard Becker, 66, is seeking at least 1.5 million US dollars from the American subsidiary of the Chinese computer giant after being dismissed for the wrongful wee, according to a lawsuit filed on August 23rd in New York State Supreme Court and seen by the AFP. He accused the company of discrimination on the basis of disability in violation of New York State and New York City human rights laws. According to the suit, Mr. Becker was returned to his hotel near New York Times Square after a work dinner in February when he found himself overwhelmed and forced to answer nature's call in a vestibule located on a separate floor from the main lobby. A coworker noticed Becker urinating and, out of apparent spite and malice, promptly reported him to Human Resources, even though Becker's conduct caused no harm to anyone whatsoever. Mr. Becker said he had been dealing with a chronic bladder condition since 2016 and is under the treatment of a urologist. The court filing said Lenovo colleagues and managers were aware of his condition. No sympathy, let alone compliance with the law, would be forthcoming from Lenovo. Instead, within days, Becker was terminated by his employer following a sham HR investigation in which he was not even interviewed. Well, there you have it, chat. Be careful where you decide to take a piss. I mean, most of us are anyway. Man, A-logs, Scandinavian prudes, all blown the fuck out. Sorry, just catching up with chat here. Piss off, indeed, indeed. Well, that's what makes his arrogance is what makes the whole Rekieta fall from grace so amusing, I guess you could say, or amusing to watch. So compelling? Is that the phrase I'm looking for? It's that for a guy who has such a smug, condescending, pretentious demeanor, to just have all of that blow up right into his fucking face. This used to be a fucking country, right? I can't wait so that's guaranteed by the Constitution, right? Like a new amendment to where you can piss anywhere you like. I mean, hell, I've had family members die for this nation. I mean, come on now. All right. This is a strange one here. U.S. fugitive The Devil, caught in Mexico working as a police officer for 20 years after Ohio killing. Antonio Riano, a.k.a. El Diablo, fled the U.S. following a murder charge 2 decades ago. He was working as a police officer in Oaxaca, Mexico. And yeah, he's 62 now. I guess he's the perfect material for becoming police, right? I don't believe Nick represented himself in court. In fact, hold on just a second. One of the things, oh man, the resolution isn't very good, so you won't be able to read it, I don't think. But there's a part where Rekieta goes to talk, and the judge goes, "No, I'm speaking, okay, Mr. Rekieta," and then they continue on. And then another time where he goes, "Your Honor, may I make a brief statement to the court?" "No, not at this time." And then they continue. So he's it's funny that small little dunks like that are amusing to the internet, where he has to get so much more in order to get a W, right? Because no matter what he is able to pull off, everyone that is paying attention to this case is still just laughing at his expense. And if it goes his way, then let's say, right, hypothetically speaking, he has all charges dropped, he goes back home, gets custody, and goes on like nothing even happened. Then everyone still remembers all of this. It still blew up in his fucking face. And seeing how he reacts to all of that is going to be compelling, I think. Oddly enough, I think I love the video of Ralph throwing a temper tantrum outside of Blaze Studios, though. That one is a classic. Okay, let's go ahead and... Excellent freeze frame.
Fucking bowling pin, that's what they were trying to do. And they got found out. His homosexual laundry got aired to the world, and now he's afraid to let me on his fucking show. What a fucking pussy.
Alright, we'll move on. I think that's just a video of Ralph shitting his pants. And at one point in his life, Nick Rekieta laughed at this clip, and that was it. That was all she wrote for their little relationship. I went through everything a little quicker than I expected. This is only 1:35.
Interesting new matter of public record has been attached. Those sweet, sweet words.
There was a public records drop, the final part of the Rekieta children custody hearing, and Nick got BTFO'd by the judge twice. And I will say this much. Nick's attorney and Kayla's attorney, the court-appointed attorneys they had, did a phenomenal job. They did very, very good at what was going on. They tried to get Nick and Kayla immunity to turn over their follicle samples, like the amazing, elusive hair follicle samples we've never heard of and seen yet. They tried to get immunity for that. They did a lot of good goddamn things. And the biggest problem for Nick and Kayla is they weren't able to cooperate. And it's not that they refused to. I get that they can't because they're worried about the criminal case, but their attorneys worked with what they had and did a pretty damn good job. They made a very, very good argument. It's just at the end of the day, you're not going to be able, like, you're bullshitting the court, and the court knows it, so they're not going to let you send the kids home. Yes, the malpractice factory lawyers, yes. Which, once again, Nick, if you think they were malpractice factories, you'd better go report them, or you're a pussy. If they're that dangerous and they're that bad, fucking report them, or shut the fuck up. Don't come out here and fucking tell me they're bad and then you don't do anything about it. If they're bad, stop the bad man.
All right. So I can't think of what else there is to go on about with the omnibus hearing. We do have this this EVS guy has been Balldo guarding pretty hard. Just a second, chat. Then we also have this one's 3 minutes long from EVS.
Yellow Flash called Nick a junkie. I mean, which is like a junkie would imply a junkie is what you call somebody who uses needles. And there were rumors going around for a long time. I do want to remind myself and you of this. You know, when it comes to Nick, there were rumors that he was a needle user and that he had track marks in his arms. And, you know, I said, well, if there are track marks in Nick's arms, he's on film a lot. You know what I mean? Like, he's on film all the time. You'd be able to see. The same way if there were hickeys on my neck and I was, like, out there cheating, you'd be able to see evidence of hickeys on my neck somewhere. Nick talks like this, like you could pause it. You could see right here. That's where they would be. Up the forearm, you would see you'd see holes, you know, wounds. And somebody did pause it, and there looked like a couple of like mosquito bites. And Nick did say to me, Nick talks to me sometimes in private, very rarely. I think when it comes to like our friendship, you know, Nick has there's levels of friendship. Nick has A+ level friends, and then there are B level friends, and I'm a C level friend. He will talk to me. He'll send me messages, you know, he wants to interact with me, but I've never met him. You know, we don't talk very much. I've been on his show maybe 8 times. He's been on my show dozens of times, especially back in the early Comicsgate days. But he did say to me, he says, Ethan, I'm a picker. I'm somebody who I get scabs and I pick them. Kind of just I'll scratch them and pick them off. And that's what those are. He said, Ethan, I'm not a needle drug user. And just the way he said that, I knew he was telling the truth. And people will just be like, you know, he's a liar.
People say that a lot. Have you noticed that? Camelot has said that. I want to say there was another person too. But this would be another person. I can tell by the way he was talking to me. He was telling me the truth. Okay, buddy. You could just assume whenever that dude's got his mouth fucking open that he's giving you a line of bullshit.
It's like you could tell like lies from the truth. You know, you could just kind of tell. Like when somebody says, Ethan, like, I am not a needle drug user. That's not what I do. I might be guilty of this other stuff, but I am not a needle drug user. I'm like, okay, all right, that makes sense to me. That's fine, you know. Why would you even, like, if you were, why would you approach me about it to tell me that you weren't? Like, clearly it's important to you that I know that you're not this thing. Like, all these other things that I'm hearing about you are probably true, but this one thing that they're saying isn't true, and you want to let me know. And the other thing that Nick told me, like, the first day, like, the day he got home, he just said, my children were never in danger. You're going to hear a lot about that, but it drives me nuts. He's like, I want you to know, no matter what you hear, my kids were never in danger. And I went, okay, you know, at that point I hadn't heard anything else. It was brand new, the news. But he's like, it's going to get proven. You'll see. And he hasn't been able to talk about it, but he wanted me to know that. And when he told me that, I think he wanted me to tell other people that, you know, that's how he felt. And that's what he wanted people to know about him. I don't know. You know, I just don't know. I don't know.
So, we can all draw our own conclusions, I'm sure. Yeah, exactly. If that was the case, why would he bother saying anything at all? Like, if you're a normal, regular-ass motherfucker, you don't have to tell people you don't shoot up drugs. You just assume that about somebody. So why is he trying to get ahead of information that's going to come out? Really makes you think. All right. God, he looks so bad in this stream. Like, what happened to this guy? He looks like he aged an entire decade. All right, so we got a few more minutes on this one. Let's go ahead and play it out. I'm enjoying the seething a little bit.
Christ. Oh, she does not look like that. Like, I always tell people, I'm like, that ain't the April I met. Like, that's not the April I knew. Like I said, like, that divorce was more like a death. How did he know beforehand? Than it was a divorce, because the person I divorced, I didn't know. And the person I married, I was like, she's great. This is the person I married. Yeah, I bought her that dress. Wait, so did Nick really take his girlfriend out in a dress another man bought for? Boy, he can't help the cuck thing, can he? All right. Yeah, I bought her that dress. It is gaudy. I get it. No, I understand the criticism. It is gaudy, and it is overpriced. That was, that dress was between $800 and $1,200, I think. She was an expensive one. Yeah, and then she bought this short little cocktail dress. Boy, did she love the sparkly sequin shit. She was a loud... People say that's kind of like a small-town trashy kind of a thing. Because I bought like kind of an understated brown leather little coat. You know, nothing crazy, nothing special. But yeah, that was me. I guess to put it to bed for Kiwi Farms, I did buy that dress. So I can't wait to go on the farms tonight and see how many times I'm called the gay F word. Let's take a look. I have an ex that reminds me of April, says Cheese. The bitches be bitches, life moves on. I wouldn't even be that mean. Kraken Slappin says, I met April a few times, always was okay towards me. Sad to see the road she went down. Yeah, it is. Cheese says, April at the 9th anniversary show was on point. Yeah, she looked great at the 9th anniversary show. Chad Buzmak says, doesn't need to be called out more than once for it to remain true. Oh, you mean the gay F word thing? How dare you? I'm gonna start coming in here with lots of straight guy shit going on. You wearing who farted t-shirts and shit? Like really lame, weak, shitty, fat, straight, loser shit. Shut up. All right, guys. Oh, Chad Buzmak says come in. All right. All right. That about it for tonight? Thank you guys very much. I had to go look through those photos. It was killing me. Kiwi Farms was like, did Aaron buy those? Did buy that dress? Or who bought that dress? I can confirm I bought the dress. I have the photo evidence. It was Valiant.
You know, in the same way that Nick Rekieta can't talk about his case, this guy can't talk about April. just what he's going to be doing for a while, I think.
Bought at Valiant Paris in Las Vegas. I think it's called Valiant Paris in Las Vegas. At, I think, the Venetian is where we got it. Sharmuta says, so do the sister wives draw straws to see which one goes out with Nick? I would be very surprised if Kayla wasn't out with them. Just because she wasn't, I mean, it's like the tattoo convention. Just because they didn't take pictures doesn't mean she wasn't there. I would be surprised if she wasn't there with them.
I'm not familiar, at least not off the top of my head. Oh, damn, that's all of it, huh? Well then. Looked like a giant barn. See, I'm unfamiliar with that one. All right. We'll throw this on. We'll have...
What ended up happening in court, just as a summary, is we went in, we had our motion filed. You can find that motion. It's a publicly available document.
We'll see how long
you can evaluate the claims for yourself. I would encourage you to read the fucking document, though, because that's the one thing I've noticed that most people aren't doing is actually reading the document. Like, actually reading them and going, okay, what is this actually doing? Because the analysis that I've seen has gotten the basic premises wrong. And it's like, understand that what we're asking for is a Frank's hearing where we get to challenge the legitimacy of statements used by the officer under oath made to a judge in requesting the warrant to search my property.
Ah, yes, here we go.
We lay out specific...
So Nick is saying that the warrant should be thrown the fuck out because this re-upload of his stream falsely misrepresents him. And he is not all fucked up and on drugs. That the cop was lying when he said that he saw a video, quote unquote, and this is me having read the document, Nick. A video that was taken off of his YouTube channel. And if memory serves right, you removed this from your YouTube channel, meaning that it was a video removed from your YouTube channel. But all of this semantic wordplay bullshit is getting a little tiring. But let's continue forward here. So they get to challenge the legitimacy of the warrant by saying that the cop lied because he saw a video taken off of his YouTube channel. And Nick basically saying, no, nuh-uh, you couldn't have seen it because I had it deleted. And that this other version on Cog's channel, of all places, has quality degradation that makes it appear as though I'm fucked up on drugs. Now, I'm not sure if anyone here was watching this stream live. I was. And this dude was fucked up on drugs. That's all there is to it. Oh yeah, he went during Cuck Week, by the way. I forgot about that. I forgot that he went during Cuck Week. Oh, God.
Andy, wear one during the boxing match. Yes, it's white. It's who white? It's so white when I wear one of those hoodies and I go to Chicago, I just kneel on black people all the time. So I do. Anyway,
Exactly. That's exactly his defense. No, officer, you can't arrest me for all the drugs in my house. I deleted the video. And the thing is, I half expect, like, that feeling, that intuition. I feel like it's gonna work. But then what we're gonna get is Nick, out of spite, continuing to stream to YouTube, like, twice a week. And everyone to rip on him about the Balldo, about the cocaine. Until the end of time, people are just going to call him Balldo.
I tried to find my white nationalist Medicare Fuentes hoodie, and I didn't have it in my closet. What am I, Eminem? Like, I used to have cool stuff in my closet, and now all I have is woke bullshit. I talk to Lady Raggers. I'm like, what the fuck? Where's my white hoodie? She's like, you wore a white hoodie? I don't know, maybe. I was in Tennessee. I don't know what I did. Like, I don't know where it is. And you're like, oh God. I just wanted to back my friend Jim. He can't do it because he doesn't have back skin or muscle or skeletal structure. All he has is an iron lung, an iron kidney, and 3 iron Jews to circumcise, mouthfuck him every day. He just won't live. I'm like, God damn it. Jim, no, you can pull out of this. Please pull out of the Jewish mouth. Just kidding. I'm just kidding, Jim. Please, God, please don't make fun of me. Not the peeing lawyer song. I'm not peeing again. Nice try, Nick. Medicare and Fuentes? Nah, not now. Dude, I love that. I watched the Medicare Fuentes thing. I tried to be on Fuentes' side. I was really mad at Jim. Jim, I went right behind you in high school, and you took the Italian dunkers. I know he knows that those aren't.
This
and then
is
he grew up with
fucking
all the Jews
content.
in St. Jewish Park or whatever. He took the Italian dunkers, and I'm like, Jim, no! I have to buy a Red Baron pizza. God damn it. But one day I beat him to the Italian dunkers. Shitty marinara sauce. You're from Ragu or whatever. So you get the Ragu, and then you add in this week's abortion from the high school sluts. Like that's you blend those up and you pour them into Ragu. And they're like, oh yeah, this will serve all the kids. And it would. And then
Yeah, right. I wish this
noodles,
Rekieta showed
what
up.
are
to
those?
court.
And they're like, we don't care what those are. We have nondescript meat product to put in this sauce thing. Ah, God, I love public schools. But then next week you're like, Italian dunkers, yes! You're happy about it every time. You know why? Because it's not the country fried steak. It's not a Red Baron pizza that you got because you were too embarrassed to buy anything else. Do you know what it's like? You fucking losers don't even know what it's like. Yeah, public schools are bad food. You don't even know. Know what you get when you combine government with Scandinavia? You get Scandinavia.
You know what I kind of want to watch, chat? I want to watch him go crazy on the potentially criminal. Let's see. I love that there's so many of these. Is it this one?
What's the drama with Sean? I wasn't aware there was drama with Sean. Oh wait, am I supposed to sit here and sit for Josh while you're on my show? Because like, what am I supposed to do here, Sean? Tell me. Why don't you tell me right now? You got a thing. Tell me. So, that's news to me. Sean, tell me how it got fucking twisted. What is the narrative about why I talked to Josh? Tell me right now, because I know you know. What is it? What do I want Josh to do?
Well,
tell me.
You're
on here bringing it up. Tell me right now. What do I want Josh to do? Tell me.
But no, I'm not aware of any drama between Sean and I. Our last show had a tense moment.
Look, I know you got this thing, and you need to be cool with Kiwi Farms.
I don't give a shit about the farms. The farms can hate me. I'm a fat fucking all that.
I'm just a bunch of faggots, and I get it. But like, look, I know you gotta be cool with them.
Gay, Nick. We already know that.
Like you just said, but what?
All I'm trying to say is, and Null's in a position where
he's not in a position, Sean.
It wasn't really about Sean.
Who didn't worry about it? Who didn't worry about it, Sean? Who didn't worry about it? Answer the fucking question.
He was just the vessel. But yeah, we're good as far as I know. So his engagement stream is coming up. I'm invited on it. I don't know timing-wise if I can make it. If I can, even for a part of it, I'm definitely going to try. So that's the idea there. I get it. I get why people would see that segment and think there was drama, but a lot of times people will see an exchange with me and someone else or discussion and think that there's drama. I mean, I disagreed with Bronca over the Kyle Kareth shooting down in Texas. People thought Bronca and I hate each other. And it's like, well, we don't though. We just disagreed. We talked. I tend to speak pretty directly with people. That can make other people mad.
No, the fuck you don't, bro.
But
no, I speak pretty directly. The fuck you do. Have you heard this guy speak, especially recently? He couldn't tell you to, hey, could you please grab this for me and take it to the kitchen? I've heard this guy speak recently, and you would never know what people would find in your house. Oh, so you're saying someone planted it there? I didn't say that. Okay, well, what the fuck were you saying, asshole? This dude is about as direct as a fucking downward spiral.
I just speak my mind. I don't think Sean has any problem with anything I've said to him. If he does, he hasn't mentioned it, and I hope not. But I don't have any problems with him. So, it has a lot to do with how I communicate with people versus how other people communicate. And then it also has a secondary thing of how lawyers communicate. Often direct language is the most useful. It's like, you just got to say it and you can't be mad about what people say. Even if it's like, whatever. I generally don't care. Even if people say negative stuff about me, it's not the end of the world. If they say stuff that's outright false, I'll generally and I see it. That's the other thing. I'll generally message them and say, hey, just so you know, that's not true. I don't ask people to retract anything, though. I just don't.
I wish him $1 million.
Doesn't matter.
Me
to
too,
me
buddy.
If someone
Me too.
says something. Like, yes, if it's really bad, I might confront them on it. But generally speaking, if someone says something that is not accurate or not true, I'll just privately say, hey, just so you know, you're a friend. I saw you say this. Here's the real story. You don't have to do anything. I just want you to know. Because I don't like the idea that friends think something happened that didn't. And I'm much more concerned about that than them actually repeating it. So, and I don't need them to correct it. It's the internet. It'll go away tomorrow anyway. Most people don't pay attention to things that long. So it doesn't matter.
Either you die early enough to be a hero, you live long enough to become a lol cow.
Pretty much. Yeah, it's knowing how practicing lawyers communicate. Absolutely.
Critical says Nick's wife belongs to the internet. We are collectively the virtual Matt from Tinder. I'll tell the internet very clearly and very quickly. One, to the internet, you can't afford Lady Raggeds, and two, you cannot keep her entertained. Sorry. I've met many, many people of you. You don't even have a fucking chance. I barely can. You guys don't have a fucking prayer. Good luck.
But what we can't ignore.
Right, before I let this dude rattle off. But there is a user in the Kiwi Farms thread called FapCop that is thirsting for Kayla Rekieta something fierce, man. I don't know. If there's a motherfucker that's giving you a run for your money, I think FapCop on Kiwi Farms could make Kayla Rekieta a happy lady. Just throwing that out there.
What we can't ignore right now is the fact
More
that
than Billy Goat
Nick's
could.
clean. Nick's required to take tests.
The clip of him saying
Nick
he's
is, like,
aggressively
hyper-honest with me
monogamous, I'm going to try to find
because
it.
we're boys, you know, like he has told me that he has not had a drop of alcohol. He doesn't intend to. And like there's
He
parameters
can barely
around
satisfy
everything
his
he's
wife when he has a ball.
White powdery substance through his nasal cavity while off camera. This is reading like a joke. The more you read through it, your affiant knows. He believes that he
By the way,
snorted it through the nose.
Quote a wise statement from our locals chat. That's the real smart people, folks. The bogus warrant by corrupt cop signed off by vengeful judge.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Well, of a vulnerable target who talks about his improper behavior loudly and vocally and misbehaves on the internet. So it makes him an easy target.
And who's the biggest political critic of the local corruption in that small town.
But as far as for me, like they, well, I gave a statement willingly because I wanted to call the cop a pussy a whole bunch. Sorry,
Well,
I'm kind of an asshole.
You did.
You forgot about adding the part where you, like a child, crumpled the warrant up and threw it on the ground. You forgot about that one.
Called the cop a pussy.
Yeah.
I'm sure he liked that.
Believe me, that wasn't going to get me in any worse issue than I was in at the time. So it was like, I said, where's your
It's
probable
everyone
cause
else's
statement
fault
for the warrant?
And if it was
Like,
my
you showed-
fault, it
you
wasn't
showed
that
me
big
the
of a
warrant,
deal.
Which just says they have the warrant to search your house. And I was like, yeah, based on what? And I said, I know your probable cause is bullshit. So show it to me. He's like, oh no, I got it. I got this probable cause. And I'm serious. This is how I was acting. It was funny. He's like, I got your probable cause. I was like, yeah, sure. Where is it then, you pussy? Like, you know it's bullshit. So that was fun, having a nice exchange with another citizen.
Deadpool says, you know why it doesn't matter if my home is searched? I don't use drugs and there's none in my house.
You know what's interesting is that you may not know what's in your house.
Woohoo! That's why you gotta do a spring cleaning.
You may not know what cops bring into your house either.
You think cops brought stuff into your house?
I didn't say that.
Oh, okay.
No, you just
The
implied
guy
it.
just fucking lied about what I said. He lied about what I said in his affidavit that he filed with the court. And then when I'm like, hey, dude, I didn't say that. He's like, haha, you did. It's like, where?
No, it wasn't a matter of you saying or not saying something. You argued that your video wasn't the same one uploaded to Cog's channel. And therefore, you weren't actually fucked up on cocaine. At least be accurate, asshole.
I'd say egg on your face, but you'd eat it. Anyway.
Epic. Epic. And really, chat, does this look like the face of somebody who's fucked up on drugs? Come on now. He really is starting to sound a lot like a mixture of Pat Tomlinson and Ethan Ralph. It's been delightful. All right. I'm loving
Dear Josh.
These Dear Josh.
I'm writing you this as a friend. Missing the bond we had back then. Balldo rapping in my head. A parody of Stan, pouring my heart out like a fan. Remember the laughs, the talks we shared. How I wish you were still there. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Till we meet again. I hope you make 1 million super chats. And I won't try and obscure all the facts. I just want you to know, as my friend, that I will wear the Balldo for you. Until the bitter end. Peace.
Peace. Gotta be careful out there, chat. You never know when you will be the one wearing the fucking Balldo. Wouldn't catch me fucking dead with that thing. Alright, so we watched all of those. Yeah, I don't know how much more of this I can sit through. Well, Rekieta couldn't get it up because he had whiskey dick and he was taking a bunch of cocaine. So in order to fuck his wife and his side piece, he purchased and endorsed a Balldo. It's a dildo that attaches to your balls.
Civic statements that we allege are misrepresentations made with either knowledge of the falsity or reckless disregard for the truth. And those representations were material to the issuing of the warrant. That's the standard for Franks. All we have to do at this point is make a prima facie showing that these statements were false and that they're material and that they were knowingly false. Because all we really ask officers to do in warrant requests is not lie. That's all we really ask them to do. So you can read those things. But if you start reading and you go, Nick is arguing to suppress XYZ, rewind the tape because you're not watching the right movie and start your analysis over. And if you're a law tuber and you missed
so
that the first
fucking
go
full
around,
of shit. Like anybody with a room temperature IQ can see past his trickery and his bullshit. He doesn't speak directly at all. That's what's so frustrating about listening to him speak. It's the opposite of direct. Just, and then this whole thing with everybody lying. I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
I forgive you. I forgive you. Maybe if you were practicing attorneys, you wouldn't have missed it. So, you can check out the motion because it's public. I'm sure it's shared everywhere. You can see bad analysis from it of it on YouTube. But really, what happened was the county attorney asked for time to respond in writing. They received rough 9 or 10 days. I didn't count out exactly. I think they respond by August 30th, and then we have 5 days after that. Apparently, we get to reply by September 6th, I believe, which I think those are 2 Fridays or something like that, or Friday, Thursday. It doesn't matter. August 30th to September 6th. And then after that, the judge will make his ruling on whether or not we have made that prima facie showing and we proceed to a Franks hearing. If we don't proceed to a Franks hearing, I believe we move on from that point because without actually striking any part of the warrant affidavit, I believe the warrant would be presumptively valid at that point. I'm not saying that for sure. I'm not sure if there would be able to be a subsequent challenge or not, but that's the next step. And so if we win on the issues, again, we go to a Franks hearing and then we get to duke out with the prosecution the validity of the statements in the warrant. If we win and strike a sufficient amount of the warrant, we win the case. Unless the state has some alternative grounds to prosecute than what they were able to obtain through the execution of the warrant. Since, to my knowledge, the only evidence that the state has of any alleged crimes came from the execution of a warrant, at least the state's version of evidence, the state's version of crimes, all of that stuff, all of the caveats necessary to talk about shit. But everything that they allege came from the execution of the warrant, and so without a valid warrant, the case would be over. People have called this like a Hail Mary pass or whatever, but you don't throw Hail Marys at the beginning. You just go straight for the one-hit KO. And anybody who doesn't go for a one-hit KO, if they think they have any chance at it, you have to always determine that with your legal counsel. But me, I'm a guy who says I should probably take the shot. And say, yeah, I actually don't believe that you can charge me with a crime. I don't believe that you've done the right thing. And so that's where we are right now. So again, if we win on our motion, we get to have a hearing to then further attack the warrant. If we don't win on our motion, then we just move on to the next stage.
Balldo
And there's a whole
Shapiro.
lot left
I
before
like it.
any sort of trial. I would not expect trial, even if we were to go to trial, I wouldn't expect trial before December, maybe even later. I've got a long road ahead of me. So that can always change. There's all sorts of shit that can change it. But for now, that's where we are.
That's where we are.
I hate.
Okay. Some of this shit still gets a good laugh out of me. Well, chat, I think that's all I got for today. Oh yeah, his Nick's black friend is upset with him. Drexel. I sense weakness in the Balldo. Oh, hi, Josh. Morning, Caleb. Can you imagine what kind of videos the police might have up their sleeves? I mean, I guess we're all gonna just have to wait. We'll have to wait and see how it turns out, because I think all of us are as eager as the rest of us. We might not get that body cam footage, but I think we will end up getting some of the documents leaked to the public record. But anyway, I think I'm going to call it there. Bit of a shorter stream tonight, but I might be back over the next couple of days. If I see anything that's worthy of ranting and raving about. The newer Chris Chan arrest footage, yes. Yeah, we watched it last stream. Pretty much. I've noticed you guys do tend to tune in right towards the end. But anyway, I'll go ahead and play our outro here.
Your appointment to FEMA should be finalized within the week. I've already discussed the matter with the senator.
I take it he was agreeable?
He didn't really have a choice.
Has he been infected?
Oh yes, most certainly. When I mentioned that we could put him on the priority list for the ambrosia vaccine, he was so willing it was almost pathetic.
This plague, the rioting is intensifying to the point where we may not be able to contain it.
Why contain it? Let it spill over into the schools and churches. Let the bodies pile up in the streets. In the end, they'll beg us to save them.
I've received reports of armed attacks on shipments. There's not enough vaccine to go around. and the underclasses are starting to get desperate.
Of course they're desperate. They can smell their death, and the sound they'll make rattling their cage will serve as a warning to the rest.
I hope you're not underestimating the problem. The others may not go as quietly as you think. Intelligence indicates they're behind the problems in Paris.
A bunch of pretentious old men playing at running the world. That the world left them behind long ago. We are the future.
We have other problems.
On that go?
Formed by executive order after the terrorist strike on the statue. I have someone in place, though. I'm more concerned about Savage. He's relocated to Vandenberg.
Our biochem corpus is far in advance of theirs, as is our electronic sentience. And their ethical inflexibility has allowed us to make progress in areas they refuse to consider.
The augmentation project?
Yes, among other things. But I must admit that I've been somewhat disappointed in the performance of the primary unit.
The secondary unit should be online soon. It's currently undergoing preparation and will be operational within 6 months. My people will continue to report on its progress. If necessary, the primary will be terminated.
We've had to endure much, you and I, but soon there will be order again, a new age. Aquinas spoke of the mythical city on the hill. Soon that city will be a reality, and we will be crowned its kings.
Or better than kings, gods. All right, good night, everybody. See you next time, and remember, be yourself because you might find yourself by yourself, and anybody can learn from their own mistakes. But it takes a wise fella like yourself to learn from the mistakes made by others. See you guys around in the next time. Take care. Stay well.